Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mpho Jacobs and I am a visual communication design student at the University of Stellenbosch. So it has been an eventful year for me. I have just wrapped up second year and fortunately I am going to third year. And so I really wanted to sort of create this video to update you on how this year has been, because I had previously made a first year video, but I think it's really important to speak about the second year, as it feels like this is when things start to get real. It's like the real deal. We've been doing what I've come to do, which is study visual communication design, because there's such a difference between first year and second year. I think in first year we were being exposed not to just visual communication design, but to also the other fields, almost like a way to have a taste of it and even to explore and ask ourselves if we're really sure if you want to do visual communication design. So we did, tap a bit into jewelry design because that's one of the streams that is available, and a bit into fine arts. So first year was basically all of us, respective of our streams, still working together. But I found that in second year it was just visual communication design students doing their modules alone, while last year we still interacted with the fine arts, the jewelry design students. So yeah, this year in visual communication design we have gotten deeper into our learning. We have dabbled into photography, and it was my first time actually doing photography. We have gotten more focused on things like animation and also just editorial design. I think this year we spent more time doing digital things, but we still had the physical experience, because we every year, well, I know for first, second and third year for sure, is that we do have a drawing module as visual communication design students, and I found that to be a very great aspect, because that's a moment where you kind of get to breathe a bit from the computers and having to do a lot of things digitally, and just do something that's more of a physical form of art. So just to have that sort of break with the drawing has been quite relieving. A significant thing about this year is that because of the COVID restrictions lessening, we've had most of our classes in real life. And to not forget, if you can recall, even if you saw my video of a day in the life of a visual arts student last year, is that it was quite remote. We still had a lot of online classes and we weren't really physically there at the building, even though for something like being part of the visual arts department we were quite often reliant on going there, and we could, because there's such a small volume of students who are present anyways. So yeah, most of the classes were in real life, which was a bit difficult to adapt to personally, because we weren't used to it. And so when you're someone who is a bit more introverted, whose happy space is, staying in their own sort of room and whatnot, when you have to be surrounded by people almost every day, it can be quite draining. But I had to get used to it, because that was pretty much how it is. And so that was something I had to sort of adapt to this year. That was quite different. So we spent a lot of time in the studio this year, but I guess that's the way it works, so can't complain much. And one thing that's also very significant about second year is that second year, it's almost like grade 11. Like, it has a lot of content, and I knew coming in, having heard from other people even who weren't doing my degree, second year was often what they considered one of their most difficult years, and I understood, because that's when you get into the nitty-gritty of what you're actually studying. And so it wasn't like it wasn't manageable, but personally I know that if I had managed my time better, I could have coped a bit more better with the content of the different modules that we had and the different projects that we do. I think that I would have managed to get things done without having to panic last minute when you're juggling this and that. And with the visual communication design stream, not too sure about other ones, but I think so too, in the visual arts, we have to have a humanities module that we take for first year and second year. So in first year, I had chosen a sociology, and in the second year, the sociology students could choose whether they want to continue with sociology or branch into social anthropology. But the crazy thing about this year is that last year, this module was divided into two. So it was a first semester and second semester. And then this year, it was divided into 4. So that meant that every single term was a different module. Of course, I was doing social anthropology this year. So that meant I had 4 social anthropology courses, 1 for each term. And for me, it was just a lot because that meant that I had to pause every single term. And I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes it helps to have a semester-long module. Because if you were, not getting yourself together that well in the first term, at least when the semester is coming to a close, you can try and catch up and get yourself together. But now I had to make sure I was put together every single term. So yeah, it wasn't my favorite thing, but we survived. I managed to get through it, even if came out crawling a little at the end. But yeah, I did pass, so don't feel like it's impossible to cope. Yeah, it is very possible to cope within this degree. I do feel like in second year, the standards, as they say, as we go further and further along, the standards do kind of get higher concerning the sort of work we put out within everywhere, each of the modules and whatnot. Fortunately, with that humanities module I spoke of, we only do it for first and second year, which I'm pretty glad that's the case, because it's very hard tackling a degree where it's mainly project based and you still have to worry about essays on the other side. Like for me, I was just like, I reached the point where I was a bit annoyed at the way it was, even though it's supposed to enrich us to be in these modules, but I was like, I just want to focus on the art stuff. I'm here for the art stuff. So I'm very glad that next year we're focusing on just the art stuff. A really great thing that has been incorporated and is here in our second year is that we have this course called professional practice. So every single term there'd be a couple of weeks where we'd spend time doing this professional practice, and that has been like a bit of a slap of reality of what life will be like after this degree and the ways people have used this degree. And I think that is so great, and I'm so glad that the university and the visual arts department has incorporated that and that is present. I feel like that is so great to have, especially from your second year onwards, because it's the time to begin thinking of, what the future looks like and how one wants to use this degree. So I was very glad that was incorporated this year. And with professional practice, we went through things like how the business side of art, of our degree, whether it's like freelancing, how does that work, and contracts, and having alumni and other people within the field, not just in graphic designers, but people who were part of visual communication design, but the degree took them in different places, not just graphic designers, and seeing them talk about their journey after university and how they sort of got to where they are now, and having seen people who managed to find success not just in the expected length of graphic design, but in other fields, just shows you how great of a degree this is. The lovely thing about this degree, which I think might feel overwhelming for some, because we're doing so many different mediums. Like, we're doing photography, we're drawing, we're animating, we are with designing books. It's so many different things that it might feel overwhelming. But the great thing about that is that, firstly, if you're trying to figure yourself out and asking yourself, what makes you happy, where do you feel like you fit, and where is your interest, and through your interest you kind of sort of find your niche. The best way to do that is through exploration, and I think that's the whole point of university, is to explore all these different options and see, by your fourth year, where you feel like you want to sort of focus deeply on and sort of shape your career and your future from there. And so that has been the great aspect of this degree, is I've embraced having to sort of learn these different things and adapt and expand my skills and mediums. Because another important thing about that is that you start to realize that everything is interconnected. It's not like you just do one thing. Even if you're doing like a design for something, you still might use your photography skills or your drawing skills or your animation skills, your UI skills. So all of those things really come together, and that's what makes, like, that's the entire process that sometimes happens that you need to use in order to create something. So yeah, overall that is more or less what it is. I think the most important part I've learned this year is that time management has become really important. Managing your time is so important. If you can hone that in, especially university, irrespective of your degree, it helps. Because even if you were academically really great at school, university is more about, I think it's more about understanding and managing your time and just having the strength to sort of go through things. It's not just relying on, hey, I'm smart, I can memorize stuff. Because I realized a long time ago that is not enough. And taking care of yourself, because it's so easy to burn out. So that's another thing, is that it's so easy to get burnt out. And you don't want to get burnt out to the point where you can't do anything at all. You can't study, you can't work on your projects, you're literally just there. So yeah, that is my second year. In summary, is that we had to adapt to in real life classes more. We experienced just mainly doing visual communication design, and yeah, we started to realize, we started to investigate and explore what it means to have a career with this degree. Yeah, don't have anything else. Yeah, that's the thing I'll say, is that the first year of your degree might not make a lot of sense, because it really is about exploration. And then it gives you a chance to really, ask yourself if this is the thing you want to do. And if you want to continue, I think in the second year is when things actually properly happen. That's when you properly are doing what you came here to do. But yeah, I think so far I can say I really am enjoying the course. And that's something I'm grateful to have, to be doing something that I do love and I do enjoy. And even if you get a bit worn out and tired, you can still put in the effort to create the best work that you can. And it's really nice that we get to work alongside the lecturers through consultations of the sort of ideas, and through the project you kind of get that guidance to sort of get things done. That is it from me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe this channel. I am really here to really just go through the journey and bring you all alongside me, and give advice where I can. And I'm just glad to be able to do that. thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have a good time or day or holiday. Yeah. Enjoy the holidays and bye.